Welcome to Ask For It, a podcast about owning your career from interviews to promotions and everything in between. Hosted by Amit Trivedi, ex-Salesforce and founder of High Performa. Every week we get into the mindset, strategy, and confidence it takes to grow on your own terms. Today's episode is one that I've been really excited to record because it's so personal, and it's also one of the most common questions that I get asked. How did I get promoted every cycle? When I worked at Salesforce, I was in one of the most competitive sales environments in tech. Everyone was smart, everyone was ambitious, and yet every single promotion cycle I was eligible for, I moved up. And this didn't just happen because I was lucky. It wasn't because my manager magically noticed me working hard. It was because I had a system and a repeatable strategy for positioning myself as the obvious choice. And here's the good news. This isn't something only I can do. You can take these same strategies and apply them in your own career. So whether you're aiming for your first promotion, trying to break into leadership, or you just want to be recognized for the impact you're already making, this is how you can do it. In this episode, I'm going to really pull back the curtain. I did a lot of reflecting on how I did it. And so I'm going to walk you through exactly how I approached my career like a sales process, the exact steps I took to accelerate promotions, and the common mistakes I see people making that really hold them back. If you're feeling stuck or overlooked, I suggest grab a notebook because I'm going to give you an action plan today that you can use. So when I first joined Salesforce, I knew that I was stepping into a high performance culture. Everyone there was an A player. People were hitting their quotas, they were running enterprise level deals and collaborating across multiple teams. And I quickly realized that doing great work is just a baseline. If you wanted to stand out, you need to do more than just deliver. You need to create visibility, build advocates, and demonstrate that you're already operating at the next level. And so I approached my career like I approached selling. I identified decision makers and influencers. So in this case, it's my manager, directors, and even peers. I clarified what success looked like in their eyes, and I built a plan to get there. Another thing that's really important here when building your plan is that you need to communicate your progress along the way. By doing this intentionally, I didn't just get promoted, I got there faster than even I expected. And it wasn't magic, it was just 4 key moves that I made over and over again. So let's go into the 4-part promotion strategy that you can steal. Let's break it down. So step 1 is to deliver undeniable results. And this might sound obvious, but stick with me. Because most people stop here and wonder why they aren't getting ahead. So at Salesforce, I didn't just hit quota, I aimed to over-deliver. And here's the critical part. I documented my wins and made sure they were visible to the people who needed to know. So for example, every year I'm given my quota, and then I make a goal for myself to stretch it. And I communicate that to my manager. I say, look, this is my quota, this is what I'm committing, but I do want to commit a little bit higher than that. And I keep her on track with what I'm trying to achieve. And I also kept my brag book, which was personal to myself, but anytime I closed a deal, solved a client problem, or got positive feedback, I added it to this document. And in my one-on-ones with my manager, I'd reflect back before, and so I could share updates like, here's what I closed this week, and here's how it's impacting our team goals. And you don't say it in a braggy way, but in a way that keeps them informed and makes it easy for them to advocate for you later. So the biggest takeaway from this is to start tracking your wins today and ask yourself, if my manager had to pitch me for a promotion tomorrow, would they have enough proof points to make the case? Step 2, build internal champions. So promotions aren't decided just by your manager alone. They're influenced by everyone who's worked with you. So you have to treat internal networking like you treat prospecting. So I reached out to people across teams and asked about their priorities. I volunteered for cross-functional projects. And I built a reputation as someone who is collaborative and solution-oriented. This meant that when my name came up in a promotion discussion, there were multiple people in the room saying, oh yeah, Ami's great, I've worked with her, and she's already operating at that next level. So the way to do this is to really start to network, do skip levels, so that means somebody above your management level. You can ask your manager, who do you suggest I should meet with? I want to do a skip level perhaps with your manager or someone else in that line. Meet with people in different teams. Just try and get your name out there and see how you can help those people, ask them for advice, and that can help really get your name out there. Your action item for this one here is to make a list of 3 people that are outside your immediate team whose buy-in would help you grow, and then schedule time to connect with them in the next month. All right, now step 3, ask for what you want early. And this is where most people get stuck. You're assuming your manager knows you want to move up, but unless you say it out loud, don't assume. In my first year at Salesforce, I had a conversation very early with my manager, and I said, I want to get ready for promotion in the next cycle. What will it take to get me there? That one question will give you clarity. My manager outlined specific skills I need to build on, gave me the gaps to what the next level is and where I am now, and I use that as my roadmap. And then every few months I check it. I'd ask, how am I tracking in the expectations we talked about? Am I on pace for that promotion? And by consistently talking about the next step to promotion, showing that you're growing and trying to reach to that level, it keeps you top of mind and allows you to course correct if needed. A lot of times people think they're going up for promotion and they talk to their manager, and then their manager tells them that, no, like you didn't do this, this, and this. But as long as you keep communicating with your manager, then it's not going to be a shock. You're going to know exactly what you need to work on, what's going to get there. So if you don't get the promotion, you know where to work on, and your manager knows, and there's no surprises. A takeaway for this one is that if you haven't already, schedule a one-on-one with your manager and ask them, what would it take for me to be ready for promotion in the next cycle? And build a roadmap with them and hold each other accountable to help get you there. Step 4, make yourself indispensable. Look for ways to add value beyond your job description. When you see gaps on the team, fill them. I mentored newer reps. I shared strategies that work for me. I worked on sales plays, and I helped kind of smooth out client processes and just doing things alongside what my job description says for me to do. And this will send a clear signal to leadership. It'll say that you're already operating at the next level. Think about one area in your team where you can step up and lead without being asked. And one thing here is make this authentic. Do something that you're actually interested in and passionate in. So for me, for example, it was mentoring newer reps, helping create sales enablement material, working on sales plays. I truly enjoyed it, and the passion and my work showed. Pick something that you like to do. You see a gap, take that initiative, and then make sure to communicate it as well. Don't do everything quietly. Make sure you show your leadership, show your management, so that way they can see all the great work you're doing. That's my 4-step strategy. And now let's talk a little bit about common mistakes that are keeping people stuck. A lot of people just wait to be noticed. Yes, promotions are to reward you for the great work you're doing, but it isn't just about that. It's about visibility. You need to ask for it. Number 2 is assuming hard work is enough. It's necessary, but it's not sufficient. You do need relationships and you do need advocates. And 3 is a lot of people avoid the conversation. It is awkward sometimes to get up there and just ask for a promotion, ask for a raise, or ask for the next level of what you want. But if you haven't told your manager you're aiming for it, then now's the time. So as long as you can avoid those common mistakes, follow that plan, then you should be really on track for promotion. What I want you to do this week is create an action plan. Schedule a one-on-one with your manager and ask about the roadmap to promotion. And you can even bring in the job description from the role above you that you want to get to and show it to them and do a skill gap analysis with your manager live. Work through it and then ask them, how can you help me fill in these gaps so I can get there? 2, start a brag book. Track your wins and make your impact visible. This book is just for your eyes only, just a little document. Just track your wins, write the dates, say who said what feedback, and then read it yourself, remind yourself, and then you can use it as proof points when you're up for promotion. And 3, reach out to at least one person in your company that you'd like to build a stronger relationship with. Start to spread your name around the company. Let people know who you are, the work you're doing, and you'll start to notice a lot of people will start to advocate for you. And as long as you do that, then you should be on track for promotion. Because here's the hard truth. Getting promoted isn't about waiting for your turn. It's about creating momentum, building advocates, and asking for what you want with confidence. If I could make it happen every cycle at Salesforce, a company that's full of high performers, you can absolutely do it too. Thank you again all for tuning in. And until next week, don't forget to keep asking for it. Thank you for listening to Ask For It. If this episode was helpful, I'd love if you subscribed and shared it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready for a bit more support, I do offer one-on-one coaching. The link's in the show notes if you want to check that out. Until next time, keep showing up and don't forget to ask for it.